Okay, so coming up next we have Gran Turismo 1 Any Percent by Joseph. So, Joseph, the floor is now yours.
Okay. Yeah, hello there. This is Gran Turismo 1, and we're going to be doing the any percent category. So basically, the run starts here when you press Gran Turismo. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, start. Let me wait for it. And then we start by doing basically Gran Turismo any percent involves doing the license tests and then completing the main championship, or the main championships rather. Gran Turismo, obviously everybody knows what that is. It's a sort of simcade racing series that started on the PS1, and well, we have what 7 or 8 installments of it. Now we're 7th that's coming up now. So this is the first one, and yeah, the run is fairly short compared to later games, and we start here with the B license, driving slow cars and short tests, and then you move up to the A license, and then finally International A. So a bit of concentration is required for these licenses, and I may mess up here and there. So, and if you are aware of Gran Turismo license tests, you have a sort of rating for each one. You get bronze, silver, or gold. And in this particular run, we don't care what we get, because I'm going for a non-prizes category. And that means not using any of the prize cards that you would earn from these license tests. So we'll be doing a different strat from what could be considered ideal, but that's why we split up the categories in this game. Yep. So these are the boring start and stop tests. Fairly simple. And then we move on to some cornering tests. It's really is quite compelling. Yeah, some people don't like the license test part of this game, and some people think it's one of the most, or the best parts of the games. It's challenging, and it's feels pretty rewarding once you're able to gold everything. I'll just do my best. Try and do as well as I can on these tests. Some of them are quite difficult. Some of these tests are notoriously difficult even. I'll get one. I'll tell you which ones they are when we get to them. 2 of them exist. 2 or 3. It really depends on who you talk to. But some of these are, yeah, can take you several tries to actually gold. Yeah. So yeah, and one problem with the first game is that you end up, a lot of the tests are just doing the same sort of maneuvers with different cars instead of a more bigger variety of tests. I mean, it was the first game, so there wasn't going to be, there's nothing to compare it to yet. So yeah, and then you'll be seeing this exact test again with the GTO that we drove earlier. So yeah, getting through these pretty smoothly. And shouldn't jinx myself, but So yeah, and then after we do all these licenses, we start straight away with the main. There are four championships to complete, with increasing, I wouldn't say difficulty, but speed. They're longer, and the cars are faster, so pretty simple. I should also point out I'm using automatic transmission for the licenses just because of the menuing. When we move on to the longer championships, then I will start using manual transmission. Oh yeah. Yeah. V-Spec Bob from GT4. Yeah, I've yet to properly play GT4. I've played it a bit, like on a wheel and stuff, but never started the career mode. So yeah. Main goal here is to get through all these licenses first try. And then you're pretty much on your way to something decent, yeah. Yeah, these tests are not very difficult, going through some of the simpler sections in high speed ring, and you're going to see the exact same test again with the Sylvia. So yeah. Yeah. Thankfully the PS2 isn't too much of a... doesn't like eat up much electricity. Should be pretty fine. And the handling in this game is a little bit weird. I should talk about the physics. Physics are quite simple compared to later games, let's put it that way. Very slidey, and lots of drifting going on. You don't even have to take ideal lines to get fast laps and stuff. It's a bit arcadey. It's kind of fun, but not very realistic. Yeah. And then for
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Out of the first two Gran Turismos, which is your favourite?
I think 2 is objectively better, right? I've played more of 1, but 2 is the better game. Let's be real here. More content, better physics, better graphics.
I wouldn't know myself. I haven't played it.
Really?
I've got it. Yeah, I've still got the copy of it, but I haven't played it myself.
Yeah.
One day, just one day, but you'll catch me playing it. I guarantee it.
Yeah, 2 is a good game. Like, if you've played this, then yeah, you'll enjoy 2. Let's put it that way, yeah. And then, you know, and then 3 is a departure, obviously. New console and stuff. Less content.
Yeah. I quite like 3 though, for what it was.
I like it too. And then I never played 4, so not really.
I was gonna say, I know a lot of people are like, a lot of people are like, I like 4, I don't like 3, and I'm like, I don't see anything wrong with 3. I mean, it's the first game on the PS2, so they started stepping into HD, kind of. Obviously 4 was the one where they made the step up with graphics, but still.
Yeah. Yeah. This was the test where they finally make it go around the track with a slow car, and simple. Yeah, an easy goal, this one.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And then the endurance races in later games where you have to sit there hoping for RNG.
Also, hi Mom, I'm on camera.
Is it though? Is it really a $60 expansion? It does a lot, you know? There's a lot of content in GT2. Enough to warrant, you know, buying it again, and you have, yeah, probably hundreds of hours of game out of that.
Saying GT2 is like a $60 expansion, what was GTA London to the first Grand Theft Auto though? That was more like a $10 expansion, wasn't it?
I don't know. I should point out this is one of the more notoriously difficult challenges, because you approach this corner at really high speed, and just nailing it to get gold is really tough. This is... I braked a little early. No worry though. I feel like some of these tests you need to be in a manual to gold though. The automatic transmission just doesn't cut it. With any visual differences? The environments in 2 are probably better. Yeah, some of the city environments looked better. Graphically, it does look a little different. You can tell which game is which.
When I think of it, you know how like the early Gran Turismos are on 2 discs?
Yeah.
One's like, I think one's arcade and then one's got the rest of the stuff on, right?
Yep.
It begs the question. I guess it's because the PS2 used DVDs, but I was going to say we never got another. Well, I mean, I suppose we should be thankful, really. We never got a Gran Turismo game that was on 2 CDs or DVDs or Blu-ray or whatever.
Yeah, because they did some dual layer stuff with GT4. So that's
I
quite
wonder if
interesting.
I'm gonna say I can never see it ever happening again, but it would be quite funny if the next Gran Turismo was on 2 Blu-rays. It's that big.
Yeah, yeah. The only reason GT4 fits on one disc is because of that dual layer stuff going on. But apparently, you know, some PS2s don't like it, so you have a problem. The game can crash, and yeah, you know. Yeah, also, you say it has the same physics. It really doesn't. You have to go play both of them again, and you'll see. GT2 definitely has more refined physics. In this game, you want to slow down in this game, just drift, really. Just initiate a drift, you will slow down a lot. That was a bit slow. It's alright. Yeah, one of the easiest ways to slow down, especially that one, Grand Valley Turn 1, just drift into it. You will lose a lot of speed and you don't need to use the brake much all of a sudden. Yeah, it's not. It's really not. There's enough difference, definitely. The only thing same about the physics is the suspension crushing walls, which we'll come to. The special stages have these suspension crushing walls. When you get near them, your car just gets sucked into the wall and you lose a tremendous amount of speed. Felt pretty alright. I remember I had trouble golding this one. I got silver, which is decent enough. Yeah, and then from what I would consider a difficult one to a much easier one, we have this prelude test on a later section inside Grand Valley. And the prelude drives really well in this game, so this test is quite easy. Until... let's see. Yeah, the Hondas are a bit overpowered in this game, I think. A bit late on that. Oops. And soon enough, we're coming up to the easiest test in Gran Turismo history. Not this one, but the one after it. Yeah, GT5 and 6 are just flawed games. Somewhat unfinished and things, sadly. And at least there's something this game does get right. The MR2 and other MR cars feel quite tail-happy. Big driving difference compared to the Prelude. Like it's a complete 180 in terms of how it feels to drive. Maybe that was the point. Nice. Now we have the easiest test in Gran Turismo history. You drive around a tiny loop with this Impreza, and that's it. That's the whole thing. You can gold this one very simply. Until... let's not mess this up. Yeah, and this can be so far from perfect, and you can still gold it. And that's it. Very easy. And now this one is quite difficult. I spent like 4 hours trying to gold this one. Yeah, it's somewhere on the internet. I don't think I uploaded it, but yeah. Yeah, perhaps they do. And another thing else about GT2 is the sounds are hugely improved. There's maybe like 6 car sounds in the whole game, like in this game. And obviously, and then like the tuned versions of those sounds, but straight up stock car noises, there's maybe like 6 of them in total, yeah. GT2 has some acceptable car sounds. Yeah, for PS1 especially. Yeah, there you go. That's a demonstration of how to slow down in this game. Just flick the car, goes into a drift, and you lose a lot of speed. There we go, nice. Pretty good. And that's A license. Quite happy with that AA actually. Not sure how far off gold that is, but it was good. And now IA, which is pretty much the same thing as like the S licenses in later games where you go full laps around tracks, and that's the license tests. Except here you only have 2 cars. We are driving, I think the TVR, I'm not sure which one this is. Actually, I don't know which TVR this is. Maybe the 400, I'm not sure, or the 350. And the other car is the Viper. So they went with 2 4-in cars, I guess, compared to, yeah, all the JDMs. And that's the entire car roster for this license. I have no idea why they didn't use any other foreign cars like the Corvette or Aston Martin, but here we are. And the only interesting thing is that these 2 cars are quite different to drive. This is pretty understeery and it feels like it has a lot of inertia, but the Viper is quite responsive. It's quite overpowered. Viper is insanely good in this game, and they nerfed it for GT2. I mean, that game has its own fair share of overpowered cars, so it's fine. Now, is this one? This one is considered difficult by a couple of people. I didn't have too much trouble golding this one when I did. Wasn't a demonstration of a gold, but you know. The key here is you don't have to have the best laps in the world. It's mostly about consistency. If you know the track well enough, you've driven it around a couple of times and you get warmed up with it, with the car and the track, and you'll get gold pretty quickly. Usually these aren't too difficult. The Viper ones are easier because the car is just better as well. Another key thing about these tests is you don't have a map, so you have to know these tracks. So we had High Speed Ring there, and now we have Special Stage Route 5. Yeah, a bit of drifting there, but the car still has a lot of, I guess, lateral grip, you could say. It turns in quite easily and stuff. Oops. You have to watch out for the drifts in this game when you spin out. The game has a little bit weird physics when it comes to when it initiates, like, the loss of control. How the car drifts is strange, and you have to really get used to how that happens. Later games, it's much more organic when you lose control, but here it's very strange. That's Route 5, pretty simple. Can't drive straight, come on. And this one was, oh yeah, this was my least favorite of the IA. You're basically, each time you're swapping between these 2 cars. And this one, yeah, driving an understeery, not very responsive car in Grand Valley is a bit of a challenge. And because the car is so torquey, as soon as you start accelerating, you get immediate understeer. Doesn't matter where you are on the rev range. Ooh, a bit early on the brakes. have to concentrate a bit for this one. Yeah, some of these are quite challenging. Oh. I'm a bit worried about the automatic transmission shifting into first, because that's when you start getting the wheel spin stuff going on. Yeah, normally you can stay out of first gear all the time for the entire game. Another reason you don't want to spin in this game is because it's like when they programmed the clutch, they actually didn't. When the cars go from a standstill without this launch at the beginning, it's as if the driver isn't even trying to get a launch of the car going. And you're just sitting there at like 500 RPM trying to get the car to go. And it's just jumping as if, yeah, the car is starting to stall. Very strange. Later games fixed this. GT2 does it as well, actually. If you have to go from a standstill because you made an error, the game has no problem getting you going again. I didn't need to lift that much. That's good. That's very good, man. Yeah. I mean, you know, despite this game's flaws, you know, being limited in content and everything, I still enjoy it. It's still good to me. And it has a bit of charm to it as well. Yeah, this was another quite easy test. It's not screwed up then. Track is pretty short, not too complex. Turn in a little early there. I'm trying not to go... I don't quite know the limits. If it's two wheels or... It's a little bit finicky, so I'm trying to stay quite away from the edges there. This wall on the left here is deadly. If you touch the green, your car comes to an almost complete standstill. It doesn't matter how fast you're going, it's just the behavior is well crazy. Yeah, the braking physics are also a bit weird. You have to make sure to brake in a straight line or your car will careen to the side. Guaranteed. Oh, you did? Well, that means you get to enjoy this. Yeah. All right. And naturally, because we have all these just one lap runs, this is the longest license by far. Bit early there. I think this is the only time we see this track in the licenses, the Autumn Ring. So that's fairly interesting, I guess. So. I'm a little bit passive on the braking here. Don't want to fail. Right. Yeah, thank you, man.
gonna say, seeing that autumn ring, it reminds me of the Gran Turismo concept again. It's bringing back memories of that again.
Yeah, that's a game I really want to get back to. I played it once through, probably like 5-6 years ago. That's it.
Yeah, I played it
Oh, an
recently.
A2. Oh yeah, you do see an A2. Yeah, that's right. My bad. Yeah. And then everyone's favorite track here, Trial Mountain. Could be the most recognizable track in the franchise. Unsure. Actually, if Tomb is still here, can you remind me what the goal time for A4 is? Because I think I had like a something 0.7. I'm not sure. It felt like it was pretty close to gold. Yeah, I see, and you may have already noticed, but some of the car sounds, you know, not only are there a few, some of them are just plain inaccurate, like the Viper here. This sounds nothing like a like a Viper, and the Supra sounds nothing like a 2JZ.
If anything, I think the Viper, from listening to it now, it sounds like I don't know. I don't want to say an MX-5, but in like later games, you know, one of them sort of thing. Like a very, it just sounds like a slow car, even though it's a bit of a quicker car.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was
Weird.
about, 3/10 off. Okay. Not terrible, but yeah. And then what? This is Route 11. I would try a wall grinding strat here because you can abuse that quite a bit on this track, but we're gonna keep it clean, I think. I don't know what's the limit for wall grinding, if the game detects it harshly or something. You can tap the walls, sure, but I don't know how hard you can hit them before the game counts it as a fail. This is another automatic transmission moment coming up. It will shift down into first, probably, and then you'll get some incredible drifting going on here. Oh, maybe even gear 2. There we go. Yeah. Pretty controllable, though. This is a bit of a scary part. They took this chicane bit away from Route 11 when they brought the track back to GT3, I believe. And then the track hasn't appeared since Gran Turismo 3. No idea why. Because it is quite interesting. A fairly complex track, and unfortunately, yeah, they just never brought it back.
Isn't there like an out of bounds thing on this track as well?
I'm not sure if it's in this game though. No idea.
Might be, I don't know, it might be GT2.
It could be the Japanese version of this game. I believe the Japanese version of this game has some weird shenanigans going on.
Yeah, I think it was at that chicane, like in the middle of the lap somewhere. I think what was he called? Is it that Matt J15? I think it is. I don't know, Matt J155 or something.
Sounds familiar, yeah.
Yeah, he just happened to hit the thing by complete accident, and it sent him out of bounds when he was spinning round.
Okay.
It was weird. He's like, oh wait, I can drive outside the track. Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that was GT1 or 2. I think it was 2 though. Could be wrong. Could be 1.
And then here we are. This is the final license test in the game, and it's, well, because they didn't have many tracks in this game, they just reversed Grand Valley, and that's it. Yeah, that's all this is, I guess.
To be fair, Gran Turismo 3 did the same thing. It was like 15 tracks normal, and then the other 15 were reversed.
Nice, yeah.
And then there was like a limited amount. I think it was 50. I don't know. Maybe it might be less or more. I'm not sure. it was like half the tracks in the game. Then they all got reverse layout, so that immediately doubles the track layout number. And then they had that one that was only limited to time trial, complex string, in the reverse version of that as well.
Yeah, complex string, lovely track, that one. Yeah.
Not very good if you're doing Gran Turismo. Time trial, I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Especially the time trial run, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And I think how a lot of people like to talk about Trial Mountain being their favorite track. I still think Grand Valley is my favorite track in this game. Yeah. It's just decently complex and decently quick. Looks pretty good.
I don't know why. I've always been a sucker for midfield raceway. Simple track, simple design, fast as anything.
I think, yeah, that was introduced in 2. Yeah.
And Apricot Hill Raceway, I think, is another. I don't know when that one was introduced, though.
Yeah, that's 2 as well. 2 introduced a ton of tracks. It brought, like, Rome as well. Not sure what else in terms of reoccurring stuff.
Seattle Circuit?
Yep. So yeah, it's a lot of mainstays come from GT2.
What about, what's that one with the corkscrew? Laguna Seca? Laguna Seca?
Yeah.
Is that GT2?
Yep.
Well, I mean, you learn something new every day.
And there we go. That's all the licenses. No fails.
Also, it's ridiculous how many of the billboards in game are out of date by 20 years.
Yeah.
It's like the brand new Dodge. It's like the Dodge that came out 25 years ago.
Yeah.
But I suppose you've got to get that no matter what game it is. Like, you play a game like, oh, look at that old sponsor. Oh, yeah, they're no longer in business. They shut down like 15 years ago.
Yeah. Okay, so...
There probably is a game that has Blockbuster or something as a sponsor on the track.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, remember them?
Oh, there is. I mean, go look at even Midnight Club LA. Some of the sponsors there. I mean, I think there's a Blockbuster one in that game.
Remember Burnout, what was it? Burnout 3 had Lynx, but it was called something else, I forget the name of it, but it was called like Lynx. It was the European version of Lynx? I don't know. I cannot remember. But it's funny because you go back and you're like, no way.
Okay, so now after the licenses, I should explain what just happened. Basically, we're going to do the 4 championships in order. I know there are some runs that don't do it in order, but we're going to do it in order. And you start with Sunday Cup, and then I think it's Clubman Cup, GT Cup, and then GT World Cup. And we are using the Supra, GT Turbo Limited, so just the single turbo Supra, Mark III. And it's the best car you can buy with the 10 grand you start with. And we're going to be using that until we get the Chaser LM, the Le Mans car. And that should be good enough to win the final championship. And there we go. The most interesting thing for the final championship is actually the grid we're going to be facing. It's a bunch of potentially challenging cars to go up against, so we should be good. But yeah, this beginning one is fairly simple. The cars are lightly tuned you're going up against, and you have this, and it's an easy win. And also the races are quite short. Both this and the Clubman Championship have 3 races. And then the GT Championship has 4, and then I think the final one has 6. So, yeah. The final championship is fairly long. Yeah, we go up against a lot of low-tier sports cars, if you will. If you think so, I mean, yeah, GT3 suffers from becoming on a new, or just, yeah, it's on a new generation, so it's not going to have as much content. Yeah, that's true. They just wanted it out the door to show off the PS2's power. And yeah, we have this high-speed ring against low-speed cars. Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. This game has a bit of rubber banding going on, and by a bit, I mean quite a lot. There are a couple of races in the game where the rubber banding seems a bit broken, and then you can see how much of a lead you would actually have on the AI if they were fair. But this game has quite a bit of rubber banding. Later games in the series, I think, toned it down. But this one has it pretty severe. You could be driving something much quicker like we are here, but like you get into first place really quickly, and then if you look behind you, they're right there. Yeah. I should probably mention the AI here. They're aggressive. They're quite aggressive. At least they feel pretty dynamic. Yeah, the AI feels pretty dynamic, like they'll dive bomb you and go under pressure if you're slipstreaming them and stuff like that. It's a good enough for 1997. And then yeah, GT4. Does GT4 have AI? I'm not sure. They kind of just drive on like a line, and that's it. And they don't really notice you much. Maybe not even at all. Yeah, notice how they're right behind me. Yeah, even on the fast bit. And make no mistake, they're not fantastic in the turns either. Yeah, I've also selected manual transmission here, not just because you have better gear control in the sections that matter. You just shift better as well compared to the AI. You just gain time basically everywhere. Yeah. Half the grid's a meme. There's a feature I really like in this game that's kind of small. When you earn your prize money, you can just skip the whole thing by pressing square. You don't have to, it's not a matter of fast forwarding, you can just skip the whole thing. It's kind of a nice feature. Yeah, nice. Very good AI, clearly. And then yeah, the GT2 AI, while dynamic like this game, in that they feel sort of human, yeah, their pace in the race cars is terrible. Much worse than in this game, you'll see. But the AI in this game, they kind of drive race cars to some level of degree, but in the second game, they're really, really slow. Yeah. Yeah, so basically in this game, whenever you're slipping in any way, you are losing quite a lot of speed, no matter the circumstances. It's just how it is. Oops. Yeah, all the car maker billboards and things everywhere. Yeah, but this track is nicely detailed for a PS1 game, and for, well, sort of mid-release 1997, so. Random skyscrapers in the middle of nowhere. It's like you have all this wilderness around here and then a couple of buildings. Doesn't really look like a proper metropolis. Looks a little bit weird. Then you have like some mountains. This is an interesting track. It's got a lot, and it's good. I like it a lot. Whoops. weird suspension physics in this game, not just suspension crushing walls, but the way you bounce off curbs and stuff. You'll see it later with some of the AI. It's actually quite comical. Oh yeah, that's a lot of fun, isn't it? Yeah, slipstreaming with a really slow car. Yeah, that's great. Absolutely fantastic. And then this will be Sunday Cup finished. Yeah. There we go. Pretty easy. It's meant to be easy, so, you know. And then with this championship, we win a meme car, the Demio A-Spec. And in GT2, you can make it sound like a UFO by putting on the right muffler, I think it is. And yeah, pretty funny. Yeah. Yeah, now, so I need to make sure I'm buying the right stuff. Some of the menuing in this game I'm still not quite used to, but oops. Oh. Yeah, I'm sometimes not sure if it's on the right button initially. And what we are doing here is we just buy the turbo, and that's it. We go. Other strats involve different things where you buy a different combination of components and go for the third championship instead of the second one so you can win the LM car faster. But we're going to do it like this. It's simpler. So now we're in Clubman, and Clubman has a bit of a more of a challenge. The cars are still fairly lower class sports cars, but they've been tuned up quite a bit. And here we are with a overpowered Supra, humongous turbo, and no handling. So it's gonna work out splendid, yeah. You have to be a bit careful with them. Yeah, drifting there. Yeah, they're driving some of them are driving decent cars, like the Subaru station wagon, for instance. Pretty good car if you ever driven it in this game. Yeah, use them as a bumper, why not? Ooh. I took that so bad. And now when we get to this part, you have to be really careful to brake earlier because, yeah, you might be surprised. And then the AI will dive bomb. You can see that beautiful driving there. You have to be very careful of that. And then you should be pretty smooth sailing until the end of the race. Ooh, nice. I should have shifted down there, it's fine. Same with driving on the grass in this game. It feels like driving on rocks. It's extremely bumpy. You have to be really careful with that. And that is this race. We're done. And then now we have 2 more to go. We have Clubman, special, or not, just Clubman Stage 5, I think. No special stage Clubman. And then after that we have Trial Mountain. Yeah, make sure to skip all the qualifyings. It's interesting that this game puts like it puts quite the emphasis on them compared to later games. In this one, you do the qualifying first, you can earn money if you get pole position, and then you go. Obviously for the speedrun, we're not doing that. Like, sure, you earn more money, but you spend a lot of time just doing the lap. And the AI are also quite good relative to their race performance in the qualifying lap. Like, you could be 10 seconds down on them in qualifying and still win the race. That's the difference we're talking about. Some wall riding stuff we're going to be doing here, because you can. As well as bumper cars. So now we will demonstrate this one. Extremely realistic, as you can tell. Yeah, this one really, when it comes to the real driving simulator, it's a bit that's a questionable statement, I think. Sure, at the time it was, yeah, I guess it was quite realistic. Sure, yeah, but compared to even 2, quite a bit worse. It was a good start though. We could wall ride that one, but I'd rather do it from the other side, and we won't be seeing the reverse of this track, so. And we're going to do it again, and we should have a better speed going into it this lap. Yep, pretty smooth. Sorry about that. All right, there's this race, and then finally, Trial Mountain. I wasn't sure for a second there. And when it comes to the difficulty of this, I would actually say this is probably the second hardest. Depends on the grid on the final championship, but this one is, of the 3 where you're driving the Supra in this strat, this is probably the hardest one, just because, yeah, your car has a lot of power but no grip, and in the first championship all the AI is dead easy, and then in the third one your car is very good. Yeah. Come on, man, hang on. Oh, watch out for the rock grass there. You want to, on this one, I don't usually like to be aggressive and push the AI. Just let them drive, and then I'll pass them a little bit later. Okay, goes a little wide there. Want to be on his left side. And now we have the straight. Should be alright. Lots of banging going on back there. What do you mean? Like, is it what category the run is? Or what do you mean, like, what kind of racing category? Like, we just... By the end, we're driving, like, LM cars and stuff, so... You know, simulation racing, I guess. Or Simcade. Where does this finish? This finishes when we complete GT World. GT World Cup. It's where you drive some decently long races with a decently long championship against other top-end cars in the game. And you're driving your own sort of decent LM version. Not as good as what you're going to be facing, but yeah, good enough to win. Yeah. Yeah, it's actually the most exciting part. Because the car is not the easiest to drive. Like, it's fairly easy, but you have to be attentive because the AI isn't terrible. You actually have to fight a little bit for the win. It's not just super smooth sailing.
I was going to say, for once, the AI isn't actually pushover.
No,
they're
they're
actually challenging someone.
A little bit, yeah. Yes, they're driving better cars than you, but you still have to fight for it a bit, so yeah. And we'll see what grid we get when we actually get to the final championship. There are potentially three disruptive cars the AI can have.
I was going to say, is it like GT2 with the Ford GT and the Classic Car Cup sort of situation?
No, it's fair. It's fair.
Yeah, GT2, I mean.
Yeah.
I just had that already.
Yeah.
It is 2, isn't it?
Yeah. The one where the GT40 is completely unfair. No. This is reasonable, definitely.
Phew.
Yeah. All right, so that was this one. We earn the Camaro 30th anniversary, a fairly ugly looking car. If you're not into the thing that, like a catfish Camaro, fisheye Camaro, whatever. Not very pretty. Yeah, this thing. We sell this right away because it looks ugly. Oops, I always make this mistake where I think it's on the sell screen and it's not. Oh, we didn't need to do that. And then here we are souping up our Supra, making it very, very good, basically. Put on intercooler, muffler, and super softs, or just regular softs. There are no super softs in this game. Then I like to put on the extra engine upgrades. And then the weight reduction, and that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, right, you have to buy them in... Weird thing about this game, when you do racing mods... When you do racing mods in this game, you don't have to buy the weight reduction first like you do in GT2. It's a bit strange. I guess it's just an oversight, but, you know. Yeah. Alright, so we have like some 500 something horsepower now, weight reduction, and some soft tires, soft racing tires, and I'll make this fairly simple. The car's sound also changes dramatically, and we get... The car's handling is completely different now. It's like... It's honestly lunacy how it is to control now. It goes from having a ridiculous amount of grip to drifting around, and it's crazy. And the braking physics really show what's going on. Yeah, your AI opponents drive some souped up cars as well, but they're not that good.
So how much horsepower has this gone from to what it is now?
I think we went from about 320, I'm not sure, to about 520.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And what was it when you originally bought the car?
I think 230.
God.
Yeah. So yeah, the car is now like really quick. And we put on some soft tires, so it just goes. And the grip.
I was gonna say, that thing shifts.
Yeah. If I could, I would buy the transmission upgrade, but I wish there was also a better clutch, so if we do spin out, you can recover quicker. Unfortunately, no. Yeah, this thing is really going. It's and because of how good the car is, it makes this one fairly easy. Oops. Yeah, that corner is a bit of a pain. You have to make sure you turn in right. And yeah, the handling is so strange. Like, I know these are softs, but man, sometimes you just hold the road like nothing. Yeah.
I think it was GT3 or 4, I can't remember, when they introduced super soft tyres, and I remember like you go around the track with a car normally, like, okay, I oversteer, you know, I understeer through corners, and I can't really get grip. You stick super softs on, you're bloody well turning the corner.
Yeah. That's
ridiculous.
Yeah, turn 1 here I always have trouble with, just because braking in this game is finicky. You have to be really careful when you're braking, just because of how the brakes react, how the car goes around the track. Yeah, there goes his suspension. That's hilarious, I think. Where, yeah, they get onto the curb and then it's jumping around for like 10 seconds. Pretty funny. Yeah, we haven't done any suspension upgrades, so it's not so bad on this car. Yeah, I don't know if suspension upgrades are really a good thing in this game, just because of, yeah, what they do to the bounciness, the stiffness of your car. You can tweak them all you want, but you're still going to get this effect to some extent.
Just to ask, do you do the wall riding in Grand Valley Speedway?
This would be I'm not doing the wall riding here. I'll be doing the wall riding in special stage Route 11.
Ah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, what if you do wall riding in Grand Valley just at that last corner where the tunnel is? Because I always used to do it. Well, I say I always used to do it, but I do it in Gran Turismo 3. I wasn't sure if it was.
I don't know if it works here.
To use in the original ones.
I don't know if it works here just because of the suspension crushing walls, where yeah, the wheels get sucked in and you lose a huge amount of speed. It's really, really weird. We can try it. I don't think it's gonna work though.
Maybe in spare time, maybe not in a run.
Yeah.
Just to be on the safe side, anyway.
Bit early on the brakes there. It's fine. Yeah. The car goes around the track insanely quickly. Like this is matching LM cars in Gran Turismo 2. You could probably get like 140 with this car if you really push it, and that's matching some really fast cars in Gran Turismo 2.
Better say pretty fast then.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey Retro.
And yeah,
thanks for coming by.
What is it like? It's interesting seeing something like this, because I mean, in most Gran Turismos, it's like, yeah, you've got to buy this car. I mean, like the one that I played and like had a crack at any % run for. So yeah, you buy the car, upgrade it, buy level 2 turbo and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, you've got to sell it, buy a Mercedes, so you can do the Mercedes Cup and all that stuff. I guess in this one it was as simple as you buy a car, you upgrade it, and it's actually good enough to beat the rest of the game with it.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Yep,
Which is crazy, really. I know it kind of follows the same gist as some other racing games. I mean, Need for Speed, I'm looking at you, but you know, it's that sort of. It reminds me of that sort of progression.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah, in this game, you can just buy a starter car and win with it. That's it.
Weird thing is with Gran Turismo 1 and 2 with me is that I own a PAL copy of Gran Turismo 1 and I own an NTSC copy of GT2. So I'm like, okay then. This is interesting. How have I got what I'm playing first? The PAL copy of the NTSC one? 1 or 2?
Yeah, I believe, at least for Gran Turismo 1, the NTSC game is a little faster. Otherwise, not much more differences. There's like a soundtrack swap. Like there's one song in there's one song in the NTSC game that's not in PAL and vice versa. So yeah. Otherwise,
it's not the same between like most of the Gran Turismo games. Like the music in GT3 and 4, it's like completely different.
Yeah.
Just because it's America or just because it's European.
And then a complete soundtrack difference is GT2, PAL, and NTSC. Completely there's nothing on both, like no alike songs.
What about the menu music? Surely that's got to be similar, hasn't it?
Maybe the menu music is, but yeah, the rest of it, no.
For those that are interested as well, you may have heard some of the Gran Turismo music going on during the intermissions. We have got that in our music playlist, so yeah, hopefully people have been spotting that, in case you haven't already.
Yeah. TMF High is what makes GT1 NTSC the superior game. Well, yeah, that's definitely a subjective thing, but you know. Yeah, this is the PAL version, and it plays basically identically. NTSC has some interesting car names, like the Honda Civic CRX, which is not a real thing, in case you were wondering. And
I gotta say that car's. Every time I look at that car, I immediately think of where I used to live. I'm sure what the neighbours used to have a CRX. Or something that looked like one anyway. And I was just like, oh, I hate that car. And I'm like, it just looks like late 90s. You can just tell. By looking at it, you're like, yeah, that's horrible.
I think it's alright. But yeah, the NTSC game has some interesting names. It also has Acura instead of Honda for a lot of the cars. Yeah. I don't think the models are different though. I'm really unsure. So just the names are, and some of the horsepower figures in NTSC are wrong, or maybe they're right, and they just used the horsepower figures from incorrect models of certain cars.
Also, I presume with this and maybe GT2 that you're able to pick metric or imperial when it comes to measuring speed.
Nope, you can't. It depends on the NTSC game is in miles per hour and PAL game is in kilometers per hour. That's it. I think it's the same
so
for.
They didn't actually. I was going to say in GT3 and I think in GT3 they had the same thing, but I wasn't sure if that was if it was a case of you could choose between imperial and metric in the original 2 games, and then the third one was like, no, we're doing one or the other. So no, 4 you could change between metric and imperial.
And you can't in GT3.
You can't in 3, no. If you play, it's the same as GT1. If you play the NTSC copy, it's measured in miles an hour, but if you play in PAL, it's kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
Which makes no friggin' sense, because pretty sure, I don't know why, and please don't kill me if there's any Americans watching, but I'm pretty sure Americans measure in kilometers anyway.
No, they don't. Canada does, but not the USA.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was always annoyed. I was just like, why could I not change it to miles an hour on GT3? That was the one that always bugged me. I was like, so if I wanted to play it in kilometers, I'd play the PAL version, but if I want to play miles an hour, I'd play the NTSC. And it was always one thing that annoyed me. And it's funny because it's hearing the fact that it wasn't just limited to GT3, and it was the first one as well.
And the second game too, believe it or not. So yeah.
And the second game, yeah. We finally fixed it in GT4.
Just why couldn't you change it? I don't understand that. was just
I
a
don't
simple
know.
thing.
Blame Polyphony. I don't know. It's their game. Blame them. God damn you, Polyphony! Why you do this?
Yeah. So we are halfway through this one. So we have, I think this was Route 5, and then at the end is Trial Mountain. And Trial Mountain, we get to see the rubber band not existing. So you'll see what kind of lead we have. At least I believe it's that one. Yeah, I think so.
Trial Mountain's not a bad circuit, actually, thinking about it.
It's good. It's not very realistic, but it's nice. It's a good layout.
Yeah, I was going to say, because the weird thing is, looking back at Gran Turismo as a whole, like, as the series has gone on, I think, even though, I think credit where credit's due, even though half of the tracks in the game back then were made up, like Special Stage Route 5 isn't real, Grand Valley Speedway isn't real, Trial Mountain isn't real, but fictional tracks, they did a pretty damn good job.
Good imagination and stuff.
Making you believe that they're real.
Yeah. Yeah, they are good tracks.
Nowadays, it's like they've obviously got licensed tracks and stuff now with like Nürburgring and all the rest of it, Pikes Peak, etc.
Yep. But back then, all we had was the developer's imagination.
Yeah, and to say the least, like I said, I think they did a pretty damn good job.
Yep. These tracks are still good. Nothing wrong with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
also,
GT.
Go.
Yeah, GT2, I think the only real track in that game is Laguna Seca. Everything else is, yeah, fictional.
I was gonna say, I just saw a Honda NSX on the race.
Yeah.
So I take it he'll be the same, like you said before, he'll be about the same power as you then.
Yeah, I think the cars in this championship are around the 500 horsepower mark, yeah.
Yeah, they're weird. Have you ever had like a really bizarre car with this one though?
No. The front of the grid is, I think the NSX always appears here, so it's always going to be the best AI car.
No, I mean like some like really like a small car or something, like a Mini Cooper or something. I don't know the car list, but
oh, there's no Mini
really
Cooper.
Crap, but it's got like 500 horsepower.
No, it doesn't happen. Maybe like the worst car you'll see here is some kind of MR2 or something with 400 horsepower. That's about it. Oh. Yeah, it's not too insane. But you'll see how the discrepancy in the grid when we get to the final championship. Like it.
You know we mentioned before about the Ford GT40
yep.
with GT2 classic car cup and stuff.
Oops.
There's actually a similar thing in GT3 with the Spider and Roadster Cup that you can do, which is if the SLK, I think it's the SLK 230 compressor, Mercedes-Benz compressor, but if that spawns, you usually have to restart it until it disappears. Because that car in a straight line, no matter what you do, it's so hard to stay away from it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, could you say the same thing here? Well, you'll see when we get to the grid. I'll tell you which cars are good and which ones are bad. Like, the discrepancy in this championship puts F1's discrepancy to shame, so... Yeah. Yeah.
As you do.
Yeah. Like, you think 2.5 seconds difference in F1's bad per lap? This is like 10, 15 maybe. Yeah. Yeah, you'll see.
Is there any, because I don't know Gran Turismo 1 and 2 that well. Very, like, I mean, knowledge bank is completely bad with it, but is there any cars, like, for example, in like Gran Turismo 3 and I think 4 as well, you get the F1 cars. Is there anything that's like really quick that's not like, it doesn't have to be an F1 car, but something really quick that you unlock towards the latter end of the game or anything like that?
I think for Gran Turismo 1 it has to be the Cerbera LM. You unlock it doing one of the, I think it's the international, it's like Anglo, yeah, it's like British cars versus Japanese cars. And you have a chance of winning the TVR Cerbera LM, and it's very, very, very fast. And then for GT2, I'm not really sure. The best car is the Escudo, but you can buy that, so.
Yeah, the most OP car that was ever seen in Gran Turismo history.
Yeah, I mean,
if there's any car in Gran Turismo, I don't know how many people will agree or disagree. I'm pretty sure we'll have a mixed reception in the chat in a second, but out of the most OP cars in Gran Turismo history, the Escudo, is it? Escado?
Escudo,
it has
yeah.
to be the most OP car I've ever seen.
It's pretty much an F1 car.
Is OP in GT1, but in general, in an off-road event, that's like, I don't know, it's just a monster on wheels.
Oh.
Also, okay, interesting.
Oh my god, of course something has to happen, right? Yeah. Great stuff, man.
Say, wait till that catches up on my end, geez.
Oh my god, that's great. Oh man. Well, that's okay. We'll still win this.
Goes up in the air, what goes up must come down.
Oh my goodness. Very good physics, I must say. Very impressed with the... I like how the cars in this game tip to a degree, and then they just kind of stop. Like 45 degrees, and that's about it, man. Yeah.
Leviathan's like, yeet.
Yeah. That's great.
Do you know what? That's the funny thing is that the last time you did a run as well from McRaeathon, you were doing, what was it?
It was, yeah, and we did the crazy double barrel.
Flying in the air.
and then stick the landing. Oh man.
The McRaeathon runs, it's just like car goes up, car comes down, bang.
Yeah. That's great. That's very good, yeah.
I don't know if someone in chat wants to clip that either. Please do if you want. So, what was the highlight? Well, what goes up must come down.
Yeah, really good. Something's gotta happen.
Ball 3D, it's not.
Yeah. The real driving simulator.
In quotation marks, real driving simulator.
Yeah. Oh man. And that's a good demonstration of the whole drifting. To slow down there, you just yank the car sideways and boom, magical loss of speed, and there you go. Yeah, it works really well if you can master it instead of doing traditional braking to turn, you know, the thing that you do in most games. And then you can see how the rubber banding not working, so the AI are just left behind. I think there's maybe like 1 or 2 other races in the whole game where it's like this. Where the AI just, yeah, just kind of hang around behind you. And then this was the last race in this championship, I believe. And then, yeah, then we move on to the LM car. And I was, like, in earlier runs, I was tweaking with the car setup, like downforce and gearing and stuff. But I tried it again, and you can get through without having to tune the car. Saves a bit of time having to set up the car, and yeah, you can still manage to win, so it's not an issue. Yeah, you mentioned the Escudo earlier. It's an F1 car off the road, but it's also an F1 car on the road. It's just unbelievable. Yeah, this little shortcut here, same with the shortcut at the start of this track, is a very risky thing to take. Be really careful when landing and stuff. Yeah, this is very realistic, 100%. All right. And now we have the LM. We don't need to worry about this car anymore. We're just not going to touch it, and we move straight to the final. Yeah, thing's crazy. And off-road, it's going around corners. Well, I mean, sliding around corners really, really gracefully, actually. The off-road physics in GT2 are quite nice. Okay, the last one. It's 6 races, and each one is, again, 3 laps long, but the championship itself, 20, 25 minutes? I'm unsure, actually. I'm thinking about it now. So we start with high speed ring, and I believe the one after this is Grand Valley. So we're going to see what the grid is. What cars are at the front, because what's at the back, it doesn't matter. So yeah, this is going to be a bit of an understeery boy compared to what we've just experienced. So at the back we have, I think it's a Primera or Honda Civic. Second, Celica GT4, rally car, so it's pretty much pushover. And I think that's the GT R33. He's a moderately quick car. Good in a straight line. Turning is a bit lackluster. Looks like we have the Impreza Rally. Yeah, it's just called the Impreza Rally Edition. There is no 22B in this game. And it has really, really good acceleration, quite good handling as well, but the top speed expectedly is very poor. The weird thing is it's supposed to be a rally car, but it has like 560 horsepower, which doesn't really make any sense. But anyway. He's gonna be he's weak on the straights here. You can see that. He's careful with the slipstream, yeah. Yeah, there is slipstream in this game, despite how old it is. Oops. Oh, no, that's not good. Yeah, weird physics there.
I was going to say, I disappeared for 2 minutes, come back and you're driving a black Toyota race car thing.
Yeah, it's a Chaser LM, yeah.
Ah.
Talked about the grid, and yeah, unfortunately I was a bit carried away by the, yeah, we have this, we have the Impreza Rally R33 GTR, and I'm not sure what's at the front there. There he is, being slow. Can't get him because he's on the inside.
Sorry, Colin. Probably would be a Subaru, actually. Blue and yellow livery.
Oh yeah, the FTO, not FTO, GTO LM.
I was about to say it looks like a GTO.
Yeah.
That's not looks of it.
Yeah.
Can't tell from this far back, but it looks like it.
Most importantly, I want to keep the Subaru behind me because I know he's going to be good when we get to the more technical tracks. Unfortunately, I didn't finish further up, but it's okay. I know for a fact that the Subaru will be better in the next races, and these guys will fall behind. So GTR LM and GTO, yeah, the twin turbo race car. No Supra or NSX, interestingly enough. Group B engines, yeah. All right, so now we have, this is Grand Valley, so. Or not Grand Valley, Traumont, and then Grand Valley, okay, yeah. All right, this one should be a little easier. We will see.
Oh, mountain time, nice.
Yeah, be on the shifting there because I wheel spin a lot. Yeah. Yeah, and they're not super quick around here. There he goes, a nice suspension.
Oh my god.
Yeah, really good.
Bouncy suspension, Jesus.
Yeah, can happen to you. Yeah, gotta be careful.
Good job I don't own a Skyline, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like going around corners like, what the hell's going on?
Is that audible by any chance? I don't know. Oh. No, suspension crushing wall. You touch the wall and you go from like 200 to 20. Yeah. Yeah, I got this. Yeah, you see the Subaru is much better.
I was gonna say, does the cut in the corner at the last chicane do anything?
No. I don't want to do it just because of how the suspension is. I don't want to have to deal with the unpredictable behavior. On the like, if this was reverse, I would do it, but not this way.
So I always do it regardless.
Yeah.
But then again, like I said, I haven't played these, so I don't know how the physics work. So if it's quicker to not cut the corners, then that's fair.
Yeah, it's just because of the way the suspension is. If this was a later game where the suspension isn't as crazy as it is here, sure.
I was gonna say, real driving simulator.
Yeah. Oops.
Apart from when your car's not bouncing around the corners and flying 10 feet in the air like you did before.
Yeah. Car feels understeery like it should. It's heavy and yeah, big wang and stuff. So, yep. Yeah, so I'll avoid cutting that just because, yeah, the unpredictable nature of it. And yeah, the key here is, as I said, keep in front of the Subaru. Just because, yeah, the other cars are much, much slower in technical races, especially the GTO. He seems really poor around tracks like this. And then, yeah, if you look on the map, you'll see there's the two back markers just hanging around. Don't know what kind of race they're fighting for, but yeah, they're a bit poor. That was pretty smooth. That was less smooth. There we go. That's race 2. And then we move to Grand Valley. And yeah, that's the thing. Even in a short run like this, well, you know, compared to the rest of the game, you can already see that we're kind of experiencing the track roster as it is. You don't. This game's. I don't think the car roster is acceptable, but the tracks is just too few. That's the. When it comes to lack of content, at least it's the tracks that suffer the most. Oops, we're on automatic by accident. It's fine. Grand Valley, the only the place the Subaru suffers from is the straight here, because you can get going really quick, like up to 300, and he's stuck at 250. So that will be a nice bonus. And yeah, this is probably the longest race, maybe? Either that or the Route 11 race at the end. Yeah, of course, oh yeah, he screwed up.
gonna say if we've got time, I might reading out some stuff to do with the charity of choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, so just to remind everyone that you're currently watching McRaeathon. We're a 2-day speedrunning marathon held annually here on the McRaeathon and BSG channels. Through the power of the internet, we're bringing you 2 full days of racing goodness from the comfort of our own homes to yours. We'd like to thank BSG for supporting this marathon. Besides providing us with their channel for streaming, they're sharing technical assistance and their donation service with us, which helps with a much smoother running of the event. Be sure to check out BSG's next event, BSG Annual, from the 15th to the 15th to the 21st of August 2021. And if you want to get updates for when our marathons go live and when your favourite runs are coming up, then you can follow us on Twitter at McRaeathon. And if you want to, you can join our Discord if you haven't already. And also, if you wish to catch up on previous McRaeathon runs, then be sure to head over to our YouTube channel.
And as demonstrated here, yeah, the Subaru lacks in top speed. Sure, he has acceleration all the way up to this top speed, but once he gets there, it's the end of the road for him. But otherwise, yeah, in terms of a opponent around the corners, the best one. Still not fantastic, but believe me when I say better than GT2 when it comes to AI capability. At least he's trying.
Just to ask, how many races is the last championship? Is it 4?
6 races. So it's the longest by far, yeah. Yeah. So there's this one, and then afterwards we have, I think it's Route 5, special stage Route 5. And then after that we have Deep Forest, and then finally Route 11. Yeah, of course we have to end off with the most complex track, appropriately.
Of course.
Yeah. The ultimate challenge. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I see we're hitting speeds of 300. So this car is decently quick, yeah. And yeah, at this point I think pretty comfortable when it comes to championship points. When it comes to Route 5, I believe Route 5 has the longest straightaway in the entire game. So that's where the Subaru is really left in the dust. I even think that the other cars that are not so good in the corners will end up overtaking the Subaru. Yeah, it is nice driving this car. It feels good. You know, considering how the Supra is all over the place, this one is pretty stable. It is a race car, but considering the rest of the game's physics, you never know. And the interesting thing about this game is when you race modify cars, because in this game you can race modify every single car you buy, except for the already race cars. In GT2, I think you can only race modify a fraction, but here you can race modify everything. And the capability of those race modified cars is honestly on par with the actual race cars you can get, which is not the same thing in GT2. GT2 makes it very clear that your shed race car is not as good as the ones that are proper. Exactly. It's not quite a shed T40, but you know. Interestingly enough, the GT40, when you do tune it, ends up being faster than the actual GT40 race car. So that's an exception, but the majority of the time, no. Alright. I don't know if this is the first time we're seeing this track besides the licenses. I think it is. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe my memory doesn't exist. Maybe we saw it in the previous championship.
Did you say it's got the longest straight as well?
Yeah, this one has the longest straight in the game, yeah.
So you're really going to put your foot down on straight then, or what?
Yeah.
I mean, you said 300, which you did in Grand Valley, so
yeah, we
it's
should be
gonna
doing
even longer than that.
Yeah, we should be doing more than that, yeah.
Easy.
The only way I could say we don't do as much is because the actual exit of the turn coming into the straight isn't as quick as the Grand Valley one, but let's see. We should be hitting 300. Oh yeah.
So we're going to aim for 300.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, the Subaru's really gonna suffer here. It's like, oh yeah, he's doing so well and he's in the lead and wow, but not for long.
Back straight, it's like, nah.
Yeah, pretty much.
There we go. Christ.
200 miles an hour, yeah.
Jesus.
That's with the slipstream, of course, but yeah. He's gone, left in the dust.
He has for now, but he'll catch back up in the corners again, won't he?
Yeah, he'll get a little bit further up, but we should be fine. It's good to know that you can basically steal him several seconds off of him in the straightaway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the Impreza Rally is really, really good in this game. Sometimes it's even too good for the AI, like they will accelerate out of a turn straight into a wall because, yeah, the acceleration is crazy on that car. Yeah, this chicane is quite difficult, I think. Just the end of that, getting it right is pretty hard to do. I think the special stages, everything included, even the Clubman, I really enjoyed these stages, or these tracks. Quite good. Aesthetically pleasing and quite challenging, so yeah. I think they're based off of real sort of highways in Japan. At least based off of. They could have taken some sections out straight from real life, who knows? Okay, and we're approaching. I want to see actually who finished second here. Maybe it will still be the Impreza, but
I won't be surprised if there's anything but the Impreza, to be fair.
yeah, just because he's a. If there was the Castrol Supra here or the NSX, then the Impreza would have a serious challenger for his position. Yeah.
And the car in second was...
Let's see.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah,
Impreza,
not
yeah.
even close. Not even close, man. I was.
Hey, you're 10 points ahead anyway.
Yeah, we're good.
Is it possible to skip races as well?
Nope, you can't do that, unfortunately.
Oh.
The only thing you can skip are the qualifications. Skipping races, nope, not gonna happen. Now we have deep 40. Deep 40. Deep forest. Sorry, I was thinking. And this one, I think the Impreza does quite a good job around here. They're actually relatively impressive compared to other tracks. Oh, no, 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 no. We all good?
Yeah, it keeps dropping a slight bit.
Oh.
Hopefully it's... Is it dropping frames on your side?
No, I mean, I'm watching it through the TV, so I can't tell.
Too stable again now. You'll be fine.
Yeah, hopefully.
Although, then again, I might have just jinxed that. It's fine.
I hope it is.
So, Trial Mountain, easy or tough?
Trial Mountain, or you mean... Well, we're on Deep Forest, but Trial Mountain easy. This, less easy.
Oh.
Yeah, the AI, the Impreza's pace around here is better than on other tracks. Notice that, yeah. Not sure if the direction has anything to do with it, but...
I was gonna say, I keep seeing the skyline when the stream's catching up, and also on your side, it's constantly flipping over.
Yeah. Yeah, he has some pace around here. Not incredible, but yep, better than other places. Whoops, bit of a slip up. And yeah, here's another quick straightaway. Going pretty fast.
So after Trial Mountain, what races left? Or how many?
We have one more to go. And that's it. Yeah, and we have just one last race, and that will be it. It is one of the longer races. I believe it may even be the longest one, but just because, yeah, Route 11 is not a simple track.
I'll let you crack on with it then.
Can I get him? Yeah, come on. Yes. Very nice. Yeah, no idea why. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, there is a slight bit of lagging going on. Hopefully it sorts itself out.
Yeah.
But apart from that, aside from that, I know that Toon's gonna be like, it's buffering. It's like, I know it's buffering. I can only apologise, folks. We've had this issue a couple of times today. It would not be the first.
Yeah.
So, but apart from that, yeah, like I said, I'm just letting you crack on with it, Joe.
Yeah, we're at the finale.
Yes.
And we're gonna do the wall riding now, finally. Well, I mean, I did it previously, but Here we go.
Just say the moment we've all been waiting for.
Oh, it wasn't as spectacular, but yeah, we'll be doing it again and again, so it's all good.
It's the moment you've all been waiting for.
And here we go, coming around. Very fair and balanced. Oh.
Special stage wall ride 11.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Might as well be called that, I guess.
Yeah, that chicane is scary. Like when you go through it, at least for me. Every time we go through it, it's like, am I gonna make it? And then yeah, you're good. Yeah, you're fine. Because when you hit the wall, the physics when you crash into a wall, it's like the momentum of your wheels is still going. So you just spin in place for like 10 seconds. Very nice. Yeah, this tunnel bit's a bit scary because of how there's like it dips in the middle, so you can spin out if you're not careful. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is a suspension crushing wall. I don't want to get anywhere near it. GT1 logic, man, this game doesn't make any sense. It kind of does, but then, yeah, a lot of the time, no. Things are just the way they are. Here we go, wall riding. Yeah, okay, lap time is under 2 minutes. But yeah, still a long race, about 5.5 minutes.
I was going to say, just to ask, when is time at the end of this race then?
Yep, that's right. Yep. As soon as I cross the line on lap 3.
Just be aware, you're an entire lap behind on my side.
Okay, oh man, that's quite a bit.
Yeah. Playing buffering for that.
Yeah, you still have the Discord one. You can still see it through there, so you know.
I can still see it live timing, yeah.
Yeah.
We're good. We're good. Funnily enough, the way you're driving now and how you're driving on the run like live as I'm watching it, you're about the exact same point on track.
That's weird.
It's so weird. You're going through the same corners at the same time. Obviously, because you had a standing start on your first lap.
Yeah.
You're a bit behind. You're a lot more ahead, obviously, on your second lap. Well, that's always the case. Your second lap's faster than your first. But yeah. It's just weird. You're like going through the corners at the same time.
Yeah, a little bit weird, but...
A little weird, but yeah, it'll be fine.
Sport has no original tracks. Yeah, because they were going for a more sim-like experience, so... That's it. Yeah, we're doing 300 down here, which is not bad. Yeah, this car is no slouch. They did give you a good car for this one.
I'm gonna guess a 143-ish. Nearly 143.
Let's see what's gonna be at the end. Yeah. Almost there. Oh. Okay, final few turns now. Yeah. It would be nice to play GT7, but I mean, you need a PS5, and in your case, a wheel. It would be nice to play the wheel, but yeah. Okay, final section and time when we cross the line. And time. time.
1:43.15.
That's a PB.
I'd have to wait till my side catches up because like
Yeah.
it's about another lap behind.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. That's good.
Probably more like 1:43.45.
Okay.
Ish, give or take. But yeah, just like I said, I've just got to wait till it catches up. It's gonna be like another minute and 10 seconds before I've got like a final time. But yeah, make that what you will. It's more like a 1:43. I said 1:43.50 when you cross the line the live time. But if I'd started it and stopped it as you were doing it, then I could give you a bit of a better time.
Mm. Yeah, and that's Gran Turismo 1 any%, without using licensed cars. But yeah, there you go. Let's see, what did yeah, finding a PS5 will be something for sure. But yeah, that was a run. Thanks for watching it. Hope it was somewhat exciting and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Thank you again for doing it, Joe. Joe will actually be back later on. I say later on, about 40 minutes time, around about then.
Yeah, about that.
We've got NASCAR Heat 4 coming up by Kuno. And he's going to get his chance to show off his hamsters.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's a case of we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's going to be an interesting time. That's for damn sure. But yeah, we're going to go to a quick intermission, and then when we come back, we will be ready to go with NASCAR Heat 4. And yeah, there you go.